All right, so I don't want to say covered, but we have looked at click events and mouse events and key events. These are all ways the user will interact with our website and have us do interesting things. But what is one user interaction that's common on every website you've been to that we haven't seen yet? Think of any website you've pretty much ever been to. What's something you've done? You can type in it. You can type words. The program understands that, takes your words, and does something with them. So how do we take user input? Hey, sorry, at the back. Where you started. How do we take user input within a JavaScript or JavaScript and HTML? Oh, here we go. Okay, it's no secret. The thing we have to use is an input. Has any of you used an input tag before? Well, this is cool because all I have to do is write the word input, type text as the default. I'll go live and I am, thank you. And I already have an input box. So all I have to do in HTML is use an input tag, and that gives an input box. The setup is all there. Oh, it's still typing. Still typing. It has frozen itself. Okay. It has frozen itself again. Okay. It has frozen again. Sorry, my computer's having a meltdown. Okay. I think it's done. Down. Nope. Okay, we're safe. Seriously, I'm safe. Let's play with our mouse. What is happening here? Sorry, there's something odd going on. It's going to take a second. You can see my little cursor loading every few seconds, so I need to get this to stop. So it looks like it's the VS Code that's causing it. Let's close that. Man. Sorry about this. This never happened. Like every 2 seconds. Is that the bottom at all? The non-stop breathing. All right, so where we left off, what we had was an input tag, and that input tag alone is enough to make it show up on the DOM. But in order to, the user can type into it. If you ever heard the word web components, you'll hear this a lot in like podcasts, and they're talking about web development. This is an example of a web component. It's a pre-built web functionality. We didn't have to build how inputs work. HTML is the language built out for us. This is a web component, right? I just have to say it's an input. It should take text, and it works just like that. Now, in order to interact with it, I still have to use my own JavaScript and use it that way. So let's look at the first way to grab one of these inputs. Let's give it an ID. And ID is essential with this. There's only 2 ways that you really want to be grabbing an input to grab its information. The first way is, one way to do it is by ID. I'll just call this my input. In my JavaScript, I can grab that, or my input, my input. Okay, so now I have my input tag. I just gave it an ID and selected it like we would with any. My question is, when this app.js runs, will the input have this text available in its object? Will it know what I've typed in there? It's kind of an ambiguous question, but what I'm really getting at is with events and such, this is a moment in time. So this line 1 right here runs immediately when the page loads. After that point, even if I'm interacting with it, I need to set up some sort of event so I can capture what the user's entered after a little time has passed. So I won't be able to grab this until the user has had a chance to type into it. So I have to use an event to capture. It's the only way to say get the text for this input because we've given them the time to put it in. So I'm going to create a button as well for this input. Click me, and I'll give it an ID of my button, and I'll grab it the same way. My button, document.getElement ID, my button. I just have to fix this and see it. Okay, so I can add an event to this button that when they click this, hopefully they've typed something in here. When they click this, I'll have the event check the text, grab it, and we'll start off by alerting it, and then we'll have it actually show up on the DOM. So what am I adding the event listener to, the button or the input? Button, yeah. So we're going to add the button, an event listener, just a regular click event that gets an anonymous function to fire when it's been clicked. Now, what I would like to see is the current status of the text inside of my input. This is just like the div or anything else we've dealt with. It's an object with a bunch of properties. If we want to see what's currently being typed or what has been typed in there, it is my input, the name of the input, dot value. The value of an input is what the user is giving you inside of that input for most inputs. So we're going to start off with text inputs. And this is how we grab what the user's typed. We grab the inputs dot value. So I'm going to say user input is equal to the input's value when they click the button. And then we're just going to console.log, or rather alert, the user's input. Okay, so I'll type, right now I won't type anything, I'll click, nothing gets alerted, okay? I'll type hello world, I'll click, it captured my value and put it in the alert box. So this is step 1. Any question on how I grab this text? It's pretty simple setup, right? One input, one button. When a button is clicked, we grab the value from this input. So we grab the input, we grab the button. You say button when you're clicked, grab the input from the input value, and alert it to us. Well, what if instead of alerting it, I wanted to put it in an H1 tag and put that on the DOM so the user sees it? What would my steps be to get this text into an element and put it on the DOM? It is the same 3 steps I will keep repeating forever and ever. Create element. Great. Let's make a p tag this time. Equals create element p. Okay. 2, edit element. All we're going to do is put the user's input into the tag as text. So what's the selector I can use on p tags to add, or any tag to add text to it? Dot text content. There's other ones. We'll see other suggestions like text, HTML. We'll look at these in time. I just want to kind of deal with this as possible at the moment so we can focus in on them. So p tag dot text content equals what? User input. I don't, because I didn't hear. Now, if I just said user input is my input, Now user input is just the same input as this, and then I have to say dot value. But since I already got the user's value as soon as they click and saved it, all I have to say is text content or whatever the user typed. Step 3. Append to dom. Where are we going to append it? Do we have anywhere to append it to right now? So that would just put the text inside of the button, which could work. So this is where we're grabbing the input. So that would just make the text show up in here. So let's make another div. Somewhere to put all the output. And I'll just say list. It's a nice, consistent name to call this. And this is where we'll put that in. So bar list, document get element by ID list, the name of the ID that we had over there. Now we have a parent and a child. So what's the order? You're adding append child, but what am I calling it on? Parent append child. Yep. So list append child key tag. We're not seeing it. That's fine. I'm going to type something. Rick. Click me. You get Rick. The word's clicker, so that's not nice, but kind of click. Cool. So now it's actually capturing my input and using that on the website. Now, the only thing that is new in any of this from what we've done apart from earlier today, that one line. That is the only difference, right? We've been following this 3-step process all day today. Create an element, edit it, display it. These are all selectors we've been using, attributes we've been using. The only difference about using an input right now is we got to create it first and foremost, type it in, and then we can, once we've selected it, we can grab its dot value. That's what the user gave us. Any questions on this step right now? More later.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when the user enter his data, is it appear on the page?
Will it appear on the page?
Yeah.
If they do what? Sorry.
I mean, because it was list.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yes, I mean, whoever person enters the data and pushes the click button.
Yeah.
So it's like appear on the page.
Yeah. So whoever, if this was a live website anyone would visit, anyone could type into this and click me and it'll show up. What's bad about this user experience though? If this was like a form, like a login form, what's bad about this? What do you expect to have happen when you click, a submit button or click? Yeah, you'd expect this to clear out. Don't make the user do that. That's bad form. So how do we get this data again? What do we have to use on the input after we grabbed it? The dot value. So the dot value literally represents what is in this text. Just to show you what I mean, let me refresh this. Let me get the input an attribute called value and set it equal to hello world. Notice the text is automatically in the input. So the value in HTML and JavaScript is what's in the box. So I could give it a default value in HTML if I wanted to. It's usually not intended, but just to show you this value here and this value here, when you grab the input and use it in JavaScript, it's the same thing. So if I wanted this to disappear, when I click this, I want this to disappear, what would I need to possibly do with my input value? Remove it. Yeah, I gotta remove it from this value. Right now this value is this whole text. What is text without any characters in JavaScript? Like if you had a string with no letters in it.
A number?
This is double quotes, empty string. So if I say my input dot value should reset to an empty string to the user, that is just it disappearing. We're setting it back to an empty value.
So you go resaved it to user input, so you can get rid of it.
Yes, we would not want to do this. What's that magic key again?
Oh, option up.
Thank you. We would not want to do this up here. I mean, right here. Why? You don't let me type. When I click it, what's happening?
Reset before it creates the.
Yeah. I'm resetting the value before I've gotten the chance to capture it and save it in the variable. So I usually keep these form resets at the very bottom. Okay, everything's done. I don't need the text anymore. Make it disappear for the user. So this is something to practice with. You know, make a little. You've pretty much got your working to the to-do list here. Have a great that.
Can you like have it see sometimes?
ID? Yeah, and with like CSS to make them show up, if that's what you're saying, or
Like see how CSS like you can put CSS.
yeah, like if right now all we're doing on the edit element section is adding text to it. But if I wanted these everything to be written out to have styles and such, I just do that here. I'd add classes to it, I'd add styles to it. So to remember how to do that again, or just see it again, because we've only seen it once, let's make a class called PTag class. It's very good convention. And we're going to say text align center, font, family, sans serif, weight, lighter. Yeah, lighter. Background, color. Oop. Okay, so I got this PTag class, and I would like all my PTags to have that when they show up. They don't just look like this basic look. Yeah, so on this part where I say text content, I've edited it a bit. Now I want to add a class to it, so I can use the class list method. So PTag, hey, your class list may have a bunch of classes on it right now, but what I want you to do is .add another. And in here, I just give the class name that I wish to add. So that is PTag class. How did I forget? Cool, so now when I enter anything and click the button, it does nothing. Maybe that is doing it. No, it doesn't look like it's doing PTag. So, I love this. Sorry, I do love when things go wrong. What could possibly be the issue here? I can affirm to you the syntax is correct, and this is written correctly. So why is not this class not being added to the PTag? Nope, it's a class. I got no PTag. My page doesn't know about my CSS page yet. So I just know you're going to run into these, so I'll stop when I run into them to make sure you don't have to run into it the first time by yourself, because it will happen. But now, give it something to look at. Ooh. Third person. Yeah.
Phoenix person.
It's not a character, but okay. It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of season apparently. Theonix?
Oh.
I think point. That's a sans serif. Yeah, this is, if you want a quick shortcut to make a modern looking font by default, font family, sans serif, font weight, lighter. That's what makes this effect. And then if you're not using like harsh blacks, like this is a soft gray with opacity. If this was pure black, you can see it immediately makes it look less modern, right? You give it this kind of soft gray look, now you're modern. The background color isn't white. It looks white from back there, but if I change it to white, maybe you didn't see a change, maybe you did. The very, very soft tones here. Cool. Okay, so this is one way to do a form. This is one way to take user input. While this will work, while IDs work just fine on this, it's not typically the way you'll take input. There's a better way to do it. So we're going to turn this into the better way. And that is by taking our input and putting them in a form tag. And so I don't erase this. I'm going to create a form tag down here and copy these down into it. And then I'm going to comment them out. Okay, so I haven't changed anything, right? All I've done is put these two tags into a form. So the rest of our code doesn't break, we'll comment this out as well. This is example 1. I'll orient the notes well so you see example 1, example 2. But now we're moving on to this form, and we're still going to use the same list to put things into. So let me grab the list here. We'll go down below, grab the list. Okay, we've started new. So with a form, there's a new type of event you get to use, and this is the convention for it. What you won't be doing is giving things an ID. So we don't need ID anymore. Instead, what we can use is a special attribute called name. So I'm going to get my form a name of my form. Now I'm going to get my input a name of, let's say this is the first name input. That's what it's, this is what it's for. This form is for taking somebody's first name. Right, so instead of ID, I just change the names. When you give a form a name, this is specific to forms, it immediately becomes a direct property of the document object. Meaning I can say in my JavaScript document.myForm is the equivalent of saying document.getElementById for the form. I'll show you what I mean. Var myForm is equal to document. Instead of saying getElementById, all I have to write here is the literal name that I gave the form, my form. So document.myForm. And that's all I need. That's selected form.
Can you just do it like that for everything?
Just forms. Yeah, this is it's very particular to just forms. Yeah. Now, forms are only for taking input, so you don't want to wrap your website in it. Okay, so that's number 1. We grab the form by its name. Now we're going to add an event to the form. So my form add event listener. And this is a special type of event only for forms called submit. Submit events are very interesting because I've added to the form, but what triggers the event is the button in the form, not the form itself. So when I click this button, this form will automatically fire a submit event because the button's in the form. It's a very particular setup. Now, if you have more than one button in a form, you don't want that because multiple buttons in the same form will all fire the same event. There's no way to differentiate them. So one button per form will be good because when you click this, it fires submit on the entire form itself. Now, something we can look at with submit events. It's not getting any bigger. Notice what is happening up here on the browser. It may be hard to see, but when I click the button, see if you can figure out what's happening. Reload it. So submit events by default reload your page, which is nowadays no. We don't want that to happen. But in the past, you needed this to happen. You need your page to refresh new data. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't want to refresh our page. So the very first thing you will always write, every single submit event you ever write in this course is event prevent default. And this, if we click the button now, notice it's not refreshing. So this is just code we have to include to make sure the page doesn't refresh when we're using the form.
Every time you use a form,
If you're using a form, more importantly, if you're using a submit event. submit events are the ones that fire or refresh. We have to prevent it by default, or prevent the default action on the event.
What if you like have it encoded to where you have that information going somewhere, like a database?
We don't need to refresh for that because of Ajax, which is nice. You used to have to refresh it to make that request go out. You don't have to anymore. It's a better user experience, right? We don't want the page to blip every time they submit information to us. They should just change what should change and keep the other stuff there. So we're going to prevent a page refresh.
Until they change the default in ES letter.
Yeah, eventually we'll change that. We won't have to write it. But until then, we're stuck with it. So stop the page from refreshing on submit event. Okay, so we grab the form by its name, and what's nice about this is when we do this syntax and we give the form a name and the input a name, we can just use these names to grab values from the inputs, just like we did with IDs. So to grab this input, the line would be document.myform.firstname.value, and that would give you the input value. So let's console log it and see. So it's going to be, I already grabbed my form, so I'll just save here. What I would like to see is my form dot the name of the input, first name, my form dot first name, and then to get the value out of it, dot value. If I console log this, open this up, type in some words, click me, there they go. So this is the preferred method for because it's cleaner, it's specific, and it's unique form. So if we give it a name, this is all we need. We don't have to do what we did up here where we grab it by ID, the whole input by ID, then we grab the value out of it. And we don't add the event listener to the button. We add the event listener to the form because it's a submit event. And there is a huge advantage to this. When you log in on a website, I want to see a vote. How many of you click submit and how many of you click enter? Submit clickers, button clickers. We got 1, 2, and enter hitters. Yeah, most of us. Click events only work when you click. Submit events work when you click and when you hit enter. User experience. Yeah. So if I type this in and hit enter, being so rude today. Oh, I'm not doing anything. Delete. Console log. It was working. It just wasn't showing me anything. So I'll type something. I'll hit enter. It's working the same way as if I were to.
How do you get this to?
Click. How do I get this? Yeah. So what do I need to set back to an empty flow? The actual inputs value. So this whole line. This is the actual inputs value. So on the next line, I'll say, hey, that inputs value should be reset. So now if I type, I hit enter, see a console log, and I'll also see it here. Yeah. Where does it go? Well, like you send it to subscribe to something, it usually goes to a database. Oh, we'll do that in about a week and a half. Yeah, we got to start sending stuff to servers that might be hundreds of thousands of miles away. But that's where we'll go eventually. Let's do a little bit more than console log again. Let's do our. Please stop. Please stop. Okay. So we will do our 3-step process. We'll create an element. We'll make this a H5 tag. Document.create element H5. 5. Now I want the user's text. Whatever they type in here, I want it to be the text content of this H5 tag. So how do I grab it? I'll say H5 or H5 tag dot text content. But what is it equal to? Yes. So what's the say? What do do I have to type out to get the value of this input tag? My form, which is the name of the form, dot first name, which is the name of the input, dot value, which is the actual value of the input. And then we're resetting. Now I'll type in Rick. And I'm not console logging anymore, but it disappears. That's good. What am I missing? I gotta put it on the DOM. So last step, list, append, the child, the H5 tag that I just created, the user's text. Right click, and we got the full effect working again. So there's two examples we went over. Let me uncomment these so we can see the differences. The first one we did was we gave the input and the button an ID. We added a click event to the button. When that happened, we grabbed the value from the input that we selected by an ID, and then we followed our preset process to create a tag, put the user's input as the text content, add it to the DOM, and then erase the input. So not too bad. The alternative was to use a form tag, because this first one, we're using a form tag, right? We're just using an input and a button. The better way, we're going to take our input, we'll wrap it in a form tag so that we can give a name and use that for our form event. So what gets the event listed on a form? Is it the form, the input, or the button? Yeah, I'm hearing words. Yes, which one of these tags gets the event in the form? Which one can we add the event listener to? The form. It's the magic one, right? I click the button, but this gets the event. So here, I grab the form, by its name, and then I said my form, add an event listener. What happens when you automatically, or sniff page? You click the sniff button. What's the automatic action about refreshes? So I had to scroll away. It's going to give away the game. So I had to prevent my default. Don't refresh the page. Once the page is not refreshed, though, I can create my tag, add the user's text value to it, append it, and erase it. I will write notes on each of these when I pass this out so you can see it step by step. This I'm going to keep commented out so you have it as an example. We're going to much more prefer you use this method for the next little bit. Use form tags. They're going to be essential in React. They're essential everywhere. And tomorrow we'll have another part on forms because there's a lot more to them. This is just how we make it work. Okay. I think that's all we needed. Any questions on this setup, or are we good to look at an exercise or two? I know, it's like we already have like 6 or 7. I know. Believe me, I'm painfully aware of the trouble I'm putting you through. It's a good problem to have, I promise. Keeps you spry. What's that?
A good problem?
Yeah. It keeps you, I don't know. I use the word.
Like 3 more times.
Yeah, I've been working on that. It's just those 24 hours are hard to break. 26 would be nice. Yeah, something we could sleep program inside of. No, that's not necessary. Sleep. Sometimes.
Sleep is overrated.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 things to work with on top of all the things you have to work with. This one is not a priority. It is a in your own time if you would like play with it. What is DOM manipulation Olympics? So it's going to have you clone down a repository. This one here. And if you go to a README, that's not even anything. Next HTML. Here's the write-up for it. Yeah, so you read this. Follow the instructions in the reading. Who wrote this? No, this readme used to have a lot more in it. Where did it go? Yeah, this is definitely it. Okay, I'm going to pull this one away for right now because it's not clear enough. That's all right. Like 3 others. This one I think is graceful. There's 5 different little apps here with 5 different types of events that you can play with and fix and change. It's called the event workout. So these are more resources on the DOM because this is a subject that we'll be using for the rest of the course. What I want you to focus on mostly is the simple HTML calculator. So this is after DJJS. Only once you finish that MS one will you go on to this. And this one is you're actually going to make a calculator using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So you'll have one section, div, for each math operation. So 3 sections. We're asking for add, subtract, and multiply. Each section has 2 inputs to take the first and second numbers. You want the user to be able to say 5 and 5, submit, it outputs 10 if it was addition. Each section will have a button to perform the operation. We will inject the result into the HTML. When you see the word inject, think append. We're putting the data onto the HTML so the user can see it. Use a couple of colors, practice, and try to lay these out nicely. I've seen people make really, really good looking calculators with this. It took them a really long time. So you don't need to do that. The important part is getting the form to work. So that's why it's like you need 3 colors. I've seen beautiful calculators. You have the time to go for it, but I don't imagine you do. All right, so I showed you how to do one input, but real quickly here, I'll revert it back. Maybe this is my add form for addition. This is first num for first number. This is second num for second number. I add the submit event to this form. When it's submitted, I grab the value of the first one and I add the value of the second num to it. I put it in a p tag and I throw it in the DOM. Or maybe I have a little div after each one of these sections. And this is for my, maybe this is the add output. So when I go on to subtract, create another section. This is now my subtract form. This is my subtract output. And we repeat the process for each of these, just changing how the numbers are going to relate to each other. But doing this, yeah, so the user's going to give you 2 numbers, which means this right here, I need to change to a number type input.
You don't have to work out JavaScript to work out. So you just do first num and then the plus sign and then the second num.
Yeah, so like this is add form.firstNum, so I could literally say, you know, document.myForm, my add form.firstNum.value plus document.addForm.secondNum.value. And there's my addition. But this has to be inside of a submit event, so it only happens once the user has been able to give you a number and click the button. But I will pass this out as notes in Slack. And let me get this stopped.